Hello, everyone. Welcome to the CaSaundra Jollif Show. What do you do when shift happens? Now, I didn't say that other word. Y'all know I didn't say that. But what do you do when life shifts happen? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight, we're going to share with you some of our experiences and how we are adjusting to our shifts and be able to share with you some wisdom, some nuggets, some things that you can take back and start applying to your life if you already started that process. So before we get right on into it, I wanted to welcome back to the CaSaundra Jollif Show some very, very dear friends of mine, very special guests and colleagues, Dr. Cindy Milligan and Marja Freeman. Marja and Cindy, welcome back to the CaSaundra Jollif Show.
Thank you so much
for inviting us.
Absolutely. So before we get right into today's topic, and just so you guys know, we're going to free flow tonight. In other words, we're going to speak from the heart and share some of you our wisdom and nuggets to help you to apply to your life. So with that being said, do me a super favor, ladies. Share with the audience who might be seeing you for the first time a little bit of your background and what you're known for and how you make an impact in your market, your expertise. Cindy.
I don't want to stop on Marja.
You go first.
I don't know, Marja. Sending it your way.
Freeman, known as the employment lady. And my specialty is helping people find jobs, as well as determining, first and foremost, what is your destiny? Are you doing what you were born to do? And a lot of times we end up taking jobs just because the job is there, but not really understanding what drives you. What are some of the things behind you that makes you who you are? Because it's not just about finding a job, it's about building yourself from the inside out.
Ooh, Jiminy Crickets. I love that. So you are clearly y'all can tell that she is a change maker. I mean, you're the employment lady, you help people in their careers. Marja, you're also your background's in speaking training and
motivational speaking training, and I'm also, to be proud to say, I'm an author.
Yes. And what's your book?
Yes. The book is Career Building: How to Stand Out, Get Ahead, and Get Noticed. And get noticed.
I love it. So by the end of the show, she'll share with you some information of how to get that book. In today's market, you need to stand out. You need to get noticed.
That's right.
Oh, exactly. So, Dr. Cindy, why don't you share with the folks your background?
Okay, so I am a vocal artist and a vocal coach, and mostly specializing in communication all my life. I've done like a lot of different things, speaking, training, taught at the university level for a while. And right now I'm just building my vocal coaching business and online courses and helping people improve their voices.
Well, everybody can definitely use that, whether you're a speaker, you're in the marketplace, or you're in ministry. Why? Because everybody got a voice. Everybody has a voice. But you share, and you just did a challenge not too long ago. I think it was like last week. Lord, right. Time going like this. A week
it's gone. Yes.
I know, right?
Yes.
So you did this challenge, and you did it around these vocal exercises that would help improve our voice. But you also talk about different points, our styles of voice, and things of that nature. So
Well, so my challenge was kind of based on what I did my research on when I was working on my PhD. And what I actually created a theory about how actors use their voices to develop characters in films. And out of that, I discovered, or uncovered, let me use the word uncovered, 12 different vocal elements that people can use and that audiences hear and really kind of pick out, right? And so that's kind of what the challenge was based on. And they're just things you use in your normal everyday life. But when it comes to, specific careers, whether you're a speaker or a trainer, whether you're an actor, an attorney, a minister, storyteller, or whatever, there are different tools that you can use to enhance your voice and get your message across in a really more effective way. So that's what it's all about.
And you're also an author, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
You tell.
Most of my work that that is published has been in scientific research about the voice and film.
Mm.
So yes, and then I'm also working on a couple of other projects right now. One is more of a tool, and then there's another book that's in the process.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Speaking of shift happens, let's talk about the shifts of how we ended up shifting to each other. We just want to give you guys a little bit context. Did I say that right, Cindy?
Yes.
We want to give you a little bit background of
Background.
how we connected. I mean, for me, it was a life shift. I was working a 9 to 5. I was doing administrative stuff. I really wanted a change. That was not my best. I had the ability to do it, but it was not my grace. It was not my grace, and I needed to do something that gave me a sense of fulfillment, a sense of there was more. And so for me, I went to a bookstore and I came across a book called Speak and Grow Rich. And I also took what led to that. Let me back it up. What led to that was I went to the library where I started the Jollif headquarters down at the library because I didn't have a home office back then. I went to the library in my hometown, Alton. And what I did there was I needed to assess my skills and my personality and things that I like. So you guys remember that book called What Color is Your Parachute?
Yes.
Matter of fact, I use that one. Yes.
Do we have to feel that one?
It's very effective.
Very
It
effective.
is.
Yes. Yes.
When I took that assessment from the book, What Color is Your Parachute? The things that came out of it was actor, speaker, public speaker, trainer, consultant, writer, teacher. And when I saw the teacher part, I was like, I want to teach. But that's what I did. I mean, that's what I thought, you just thought kind of one dimensional. So anywho, fast forward, that led me to the book, Speak and Grow Rich, which gave me a little unction for the function. There was one element in there. They talked about how to enter into the speaking industry. And they talked about contacting, being a seminar trainer or a seminar speaker or seminar presenter. And I took that one tip and it started my journey. And in short, I ended up landing a contract as an independent contractor, as a speaker / trainer. And I ran into these incredible ladies here on their swinging road. So that's how we ended up connecting life. In that case, I shifted life. Something didn't happen to me. I made some decisions, which we'll talk about that a little bit later, how you cause things to shift. So what was the shift for you guys when how we ended up connecting? Marja, would you start with you?
Well, for me, there was something inside of me that always was a teacher. But I think there's a difference between a teacher and an instructor.
Break it down like a transformer.
It really focuses on a particular idea or information. And a teacher, for the most part, is somebody who works in a college or university. They have that level of experience and knowledge. And so when I started to work with different programs, one was working for homeless shelters. And these are people, remember we talked earlier about finding employment. And the bottom line is they had no direction. And so it first started with employment. And once we got that, people felt an ability to say, I can go further now. Now that I have direction, then I can go further. And one of the things that I started is about teaching. I went to a conference where they had some of the best speakers in the world. And I had my card and I went up to Les Brown.
What?
And I told him, yes, I did. I'm bold like that. So I went up to Les Brown and I gave him my card. And I said, I will see you on the speaker unit. That's what I told him. And I knew from that point on, I always had it inside me to speak. See, I was the child that always spoke in the classroom. I was one that always got in trouble talking.
Yeah, me too.
So that was me. And I had no idea which direction God would have me go into, that I am traveling internationally because I always had it in me. And now it's about that direction, just about that direction.
Wow. Okay. So that's how you ended up
You
getting
didn't
into
even know that. You didn't even know that.
Yes, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either.
I pulled up on this brown. I said, "This is my card." Yes, I did.
Now, Rose, we've been knowing each other for 20 years. You ain't never told that.
She's never told us that, CaSaundra.
Know my business. I mean, I'm just kidding, but I mean, but that was a motivation that said, if you can do it, anybody else. It's about stepping out into a journey.
Yeah,
it's about stepping out to do something different.
Wow, I love that, you little bold you. Okay, so Cindy, what about you?
Well, I didn't have those kind of come to Jesus moments. You know what? I was just looking for an opportunity. I saw this thing, I sent in information, and the next thing I know, I was on the road, and then bam, glided into you guys.
Yes.
And that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly 20 years ago.
And we just had so much fun.
I cannot shake these women. They're everywhere I go.
We keep popping up. We pop up every now and again.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's here to stay. Absolutely. I mean, we're not going nowhere.
Yeah. But it's like everything in my life has kind of been around this whole issue of communication. And so, but it's strange because I have an undergraduate degree in management and accounting.
What? Numbers?
Yeah. And I hated it.
Me too, girl. I don't know what you tried to prove about it.
Because it was like too confining. It was really, I did it because this is back to you, what you were saying, Marja. We take jobs a lot of times that we're not really in the right vein, right? I knew that wasn't it. That was at the suggestion of some, advice that I got when I was in high school about, taking something in your undergraduate degree that can always sustain you.
Right.
And so I went in that direction. I did it for several years, but I wasn't really happy doing it. And it was like, okay, life is more than a month in close. Let me get back to where I really am supposed to be, which I always knew was in communication. But I've done so many things since then that the speaking and the training part was just one piece of it. And then I started working in television, and then that's what my master's is in, international broadcast journalism. And I started traveling all over the world doing that. But, now it's kind of shifted into something else. But the whole thing for me was always focused around some part of communication. And
wow.
Yeah.
So communication is that is your lane.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Wow.
And I mean, I ended up doing a lot of teaching in it as well, but I have so much practical experience in addition to, the education. So I'm able to merge a lot of that practical experience with what I normally do. Yeah.
What you normally do.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you are watching if you're watching this and you're catching the replay, do me a super fave. Let me know in the comment section where you're coming from. If you got questions, the experts are here to help you with your shift. Okay. I got to put extra emphasis on that because some of this people be calling me up and say, was you cussing? No.
However, CaSaundra, let me just say this about the word shift.
Let's talk.
Okay, so you said people will be taking that wrong, but of course, the way you title this, right, you're kind of leading people down that trail.
Which is what, yeah, and it's true because I want you to catch their attention.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Why? Because that is what happens when it's shifting time. Sometimes shifting is not gradual. It is a
That's right.
So when it happens,
it
happens, So and listen, we are in a time right now. Who saw this coming?
My God.
Who?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Even if, a lot of the experts said that they knew there would be some sort of health thing coming, but you never know where you're going to be when it happens and how it's going to impact you, so clearly everything is different now. And, having to be quarantined for so long, has ended up being a blessing for me, but I know it's been devastating for many people. Right. So, and it's just really we can't stop things from happening. The only thing we can do is control our response to how they happen.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
That is the
And
key.
the other part too is you're not the same person at 25
Right.
that you are at 35.
That's
And
true.
you're not the same person at 35 that you are at 37. And so there's always a shift happening, whether you have children or whether you do go back to school, or, there's always a shift, even in employment, whether you take the job or you don't.
Mhm.
So there's always a constant shift in some area of your life. That means if I have to move or something else is going to happen. So there always is a shift. Mm-hmm.
That is happening. I agree. I agree. This whole, and I'm still, literally still grasping this shift of me relocating to Dallas, not because of the relocation, because I like to travel, I like to move around. But I did not think I honestly didn't think I'd end up in Dallas. I really thought that, LA would be my go back to location. And not to say that it won't be, because I plan on going back. But I didn't see this coming. And so what do you do when things do shift and you don't see, you get blindsided? And maybe this is not a negative thing that this happened. It's actually a really good thing. It's just, I haven't been able to figure it out. And I think that might be the issue. The challenge for me is that I was trying to figure out, why is this happening? How is all this happening? And at this point, as I said before in past shows, is that for me, it is a cloud by day, fire by night. In other words, I have to wait for God to show me and lead me. And now at the same time, I'm doing, and some things I'm doing, and it confirms, well, you're on the right path and you're doing the right thing. And then some things I've done is like, oh no, you probably shouldn't do that. Let's course correct. And there's nothing wrong with course correction. Have we not had course corrections in our lives?
Oh yeah,
Most of the time.
What'd you say, Cindy?
Most of the time. Most of the time, it's course correcting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most important things is just being adaptable. I mean, you moved, where you are, you have to deal with where you are instead of thinking about where you were or where you wanted. I mean, you have to be in the present moment and just kind of be adaptable to that, because, otherwise, like you take that move and you're like, oh, I didn't want to come, or I left all this behind, or I really didn't want to come here. I wanted to go to LA. All of that type of thing will take you out of where you currently are and take you out of dealing with where you are.
So it's important to embrace the journey.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is something that is happening. It's just that there are moments when I'm looking around, because it feels surreal.
Right.
It's like it's still feeling very surreal to me. And now, am I grateful because I am here? Yes. I think what my challenge was with this shift is the why. And sometimes a lot of us is dealing with, well, why, or how, or when, or what, or who.
There's one song that I absolutely love, which is by Nelson Jason, called Shifting the Atmosphere. And I love it because it basically says God is going to take you places that you never thought you would ever go. And I think that's important to recognize that we're not always exactly where we think we're going to be, but it's about, as you were saying earlier, is being prepared and being ready to do something different or unique. Because we don't always sit down and plan our entire lives. But that's where I love that song about shifting the atmosphere. Something in your life is going to change from where you are, and just enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. It's not going to be perfect, but as you're going forward, it becomes exciting. You just go, wow, I never thought I'd be an author. I mean, you don't plan to be an author, but something in your life connects. And then you start to write down all the things in your life that has shifted in your life to say, somebody else can use this information. And that's when you become an author. That's how you get started in something unique. So I think that's at least a platform which is shifting the atmosphere because it is going to happen.
And you never know. You can make plans. You can go to school and get your education and plan. This is what you're going to do, and then life happens, right? So I'm gonna go to a movie for you guys for a second, and I always remember this because in the movie The Matrix, there is a line that says there is a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. Because see, there are times if we knew where we were going, we'd be like, I'm not going down that path. No. But that could be the path that really leads you somewhere great because you can't see all the details, right? So when you think about it, you can, if you knew the path, would you really want to walk it? But it's better for you to just not know it and take one step at a time because that's what you would have to do regardless. Whether you do it or whether you didn't do it, you are only going to be able to take one step at a time.
And that's the way life is, even just in the natural of walking. We can only take one step at a time, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one.
Right. Because no matter what you plan, stuff happens, right? Like I'm going down my little normal path, and bam, all of a sudden, I got hit with breast cancer. That was like the rug got ripped right out from under me.
Right.
For a whole year, I couldn't do what I really had planned to do. But it led and opened doors for other things that I would have never known about had I not walked that path.
Wow.
Would I have chosen it? Never. No, absolutely not.
So what are some of the things that came out of that experience? I mean, like that was a serious shift, something that you didn't,
That was out of the wild blue yonder. One of the things is being able to meet a lot of people that were working in that healthcare area and being able to connect with other women who were going through it. And even now, working with women or talking with women who are just now finding out about it. Well, I've been there. What, and that also helped me when I was in it, being able to talk to other people who had dealt with it. But, just where I lived, the people that I met, and it just opened up other opportunities, even now opportunities that I would have never known about because that happened like back in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And the journey you're on now compared to clearly then is wildly different.
Very different.
Very different. Wow.
My whole coaching practice is different. And the way I was approaching, the business, I've been going through some notes since we've been under quarantine, look back all the way to 2003.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've been working on this thing since 2003. That's 17 years. That's ridiculous. Talk about your plan being averted, right? But now it's brought me to a point where today, I mean, I've gotten more done in the last 2 months than I have the whole 17 years. Well, that may be a bit of an exaggeration. It's a different type of thing. You know what I mean? It's like more like I've been propelled, and this is the time that all those 17 years, we're really in preparation for now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible.
It would have been so different had I done what I had originally planned to do. And I think if I had done what I planned to do and then this quarantine COVID thing happened, it would have destroyed me.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Because I would have had a full-blown building, recording studio, performance space, and that would have been very expensive. And for it to not operate in times like this.
Online is where it's at right about now. That's for sure.
It's a different world. It's a totally different world.
Totally different. So that's even in that shift, this is what came out of. You said, I've done more work in the last 2 months than in the last 17 years of planning, writing down, hoping, wishing, praying, doing, stop doing, whatever that looked like. And because of the journey that you came out of with dealing with your health, I'm sure your outlook on life was a lot different after you came out of that, which probably
Completely. It led me down a different path. And all the stuff all the things that I did in those 17 years, it still prepared me. It's not like that was useless. It was not like that was, yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, I just wanted to say, and I want you to chime in here, Marja. Thank you, Tracy Buckner, for saying hello. And thank you for watching the CaSaundra Jolliff Show. Those of you who are watching right now, we are talking about when shift happens. Things in life that shift our life, shift us internally, shift us externally. And we're sharing a little bit about our stories, our lessons that we've learned and still learning. And if you got some lessons that you're learning, please share that. If you got questions around this topic that you want to ask the ladies and myself, go right ahead and put it out there. And of course, please share and this broadcast. I would totally appreciate it. So Marja Lee Freeman, come with it with your experience of your shift.
Exactly about that shift. Almost 3 years ago, I had a stroke. And it shifted everything that I thought I would do. And at that point, as a professional speaker, I had gone around the world. And so now I can't travel any longer. It really did. It kind of shook who I used to be.
Did it shake you to the core? Like
it did. But I recognized first and foremost, I had the strongest support that I needed. And first and foremost was the power of prayer. If I did not have that,
come on,
and my experience with the Lord, I don't know where I would be. But the one thing that I did know is that I had a relationship with the Lord. And that helped me. That gave me a sound foundation. So it didn't matter what else happened. I knew I had a foundation. And that was number one. So I had to shift and do something different. And after the stroke, I moved into a different area, and it's called peer support. And that's working with other people who have gone through something very, very similar. And some of them have been homeless. Some of them they too had strokes, or they have lost their families because of drugs. And so it's like, how do you shift when you have lost your entire family?
Wow.
What do you do when you are homeless? Who do you go to, and who do you trust? So it really is about handling the shift and having a strong group of people around you who can help hold you up. Because if you don't have people around you that can hold you up, at some point you lose hope. And so with the key to hope is having a foundation. And once I started to do something different, like peer support training, giving them other people a sense of hope too. Because telling people that I had a stroke, and the shock is, how were you able to come back? And I give them those same 3 keys. You need a foundation. I had close family, my husband, my mother, and my church family as well. I mean, I had so many people around me, and it's important to have people who love you because they're going to hold you up as well. And after that, it was really about taking one step. I stopped trying to think that I could figure out everything, that I can make myself heal, that I can do this. And we have the I, when at the end of the day, I really needed him. Right. And so that was my beginning.
You know, that's really interesting, because shortly after my dad passed away, I was in graduate school, and that shook me to the core, right? So another life event that happened. And I actually bumped into, by accident, a psychologist who saw me. After it had happened, I was just kind of wandering around this building and don't even remember how I got there. But she stopped me, and she kind of like, hey, what's wrong? And I told her what had happened. And she said, there are 5 things that can happen to a person in their life. And any one of these 5 things could send you into, just a mental state that it would be difficult for you to come out of. And they are loss of a loved one, relocating from one place to another, broken bones or some type of trauma to the body. And I can't remember the other 2, but the point was all 5 of these things had just happened to me.
Oh my God.
What?
And yeah, she was like, hold on, wait a minute. You know, I'm going to make sure you're okay. And I just remember the shock of that. You know, I had moved. I had just lost my dad. I had fallen and broken a bone in my foot. And I'm trying to remember the other two things. I can't remember the other, but they're just basic life events, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if, like you said, Marja, if you don't have a solid foundation and if you don't have that faith to lean on and you don't know God, then, you know, that kind of stuff in itself can take you out. But then, you know, not having the foundation is really difficult. But, you know, there's a lot of people who don't have family, you know, and they say, well, I don't have family. What do I do? You know, you had your husband, you had your mom, you had your church family, but I don't have that. What do I do? What do you say to that person?
It's about being around people, and it doesn't just have to be church people, but it is about finding a foundation. And it may not be, it's about somebody outside of you.
Right.
Somebody outside of you. And when I started working with the people at the shelter, I realized that they were in a position that I could never handle. But it's really about showing love to other people so that they recognize, even in your situation, if you can find love and it's outside of your family, it doesn't matter, because love doesn't have any boundaries.
Right.
Doesn't have any boundaries. But it's about finding someone who says, you know what, I'll talk to you every day. If you want to come in and talk to me every day, sometimes people don't even have anything to talk about, but they'll start talking. And once they get a topic, they just need someone to listen.
Yeah. Or someone just to be there, right? Like you said, you may not feel like talking, but if you know another person is sitting right next to you, that is also a type of support that can be really, really helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's important too, having that sense of community with friends and family. And sometimes, like you said, it's just strangers. You know, some of the best wisdom I got was from people that I didn't have a relationship with, that I didn't personally know, you know, and especially in the times of dealing with shifts that were happening in my life. It's like God would send just people across my path that would give me, it's almost like that cup of water for the day, or that food for the day internally that you need for nourishment. I had to nourish my soul. You know, I had to nourish my mind. You know, I had to nourish myself. And so I think that's important too, is having a sense of community, having a sense of belonging. And people, you know, we're human beings. We're made and designed to have relationship with others.
Right.
You know, you have a relationship with somebody.
To be honest with you, I really think, now, I don't know if you guys can remember back the details of other things that were going on in your life when we met, but I really do believe that when we met, that was a serious divine connection. And
absolutely.
I personally don't remember like what I was dealing with at that time, but I do know that while we were working together, my mom passed.
Yeah.
And you guys
remember that.
Right. So sometimes God brings people into your life. You have no idea who they are. They're totally strangers, right? That's how we met. We were kind of put together.
Like this.
We were put together by the people that we were working for, but I think we were really put together by God.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It was divine.
That was all way above us.
It was already there.
Yeah.
That was above our pay grade.
That was above us. It really was. We had nothing to do with that.
We had nothing. And then 20 years later, I mean, we've stayed in contact on and off over the years. In recent times, we have just like stayed together like peanut butter and jelly and, I don't know, milk. We have to have three.
That's all right. I don't mind peanut butter and jelly and milk. That's okay with me.
That's some milk. But the thing about it is that there was a time where we lost connection, right?
That's right.
Just life happens, right? But we would still, it would shift, and somebody would reach out to somebody, and another one reach out to the other. Then, you know, we come together. And this time, oh my God, I just feel like, once again, a divine connection, a divine assignment.
That's why I say it's a divine connection, because even though there was a time when we weren't talking, that didn't mean we still were not connected with each other.
Right.
Because when we did talk, we picked up right where we left off, and we just kept on going. And so I don't think a real divine connection would have lasted and been as strong as it has been between the three of us had it not been.
That's so true.
And
That's
20 years later, 20
20
years
years
later. So there was a spiritual connection from the beginning.
Yeah.
From the jump.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
From
And we
the jump.
laughed ourselves silly when we were driving together. I mean, it was just, you were strangers, but we became sisters.
Right.
That's why.
That's why it was so divine, is because we had so much fun. And I wish maybe we should try and think about this, is what were we all going through at that time that we needed that kind of camaraderie and that type of fun? Because we just had so much fun together. It was unusual. It was unusual.
Yes.
I think for myself at that time, I was just trying to find my place. I was trying to find my thing, you know. I was not living in Los Angeles at that time, and I only had one. As I said before, I only had one ambition, one dream in my life, and it's still there. But God showed me, I've gotten some. I have some. I've made you multifaceted. Yes, you're going to act. Yes, but you're going to speak. You're going to train. You're going to coach. You're going to dance. You're going to direct. You're going to do all those things. And so at that time, when I came to you guys, I was just so happy to find something else that I was gifted, and naturally, it felt so natural to me. It did not, it was blowing my mind that these people were hiring me to speak. To talk. And I mean, y'all know I was the rookie out the group. I was the rookie out the group, and I did not know what I was doing half the time, but I was like, hey, bobbing and weaving. And, fake it till you make it type of thing. And I wouldn't say I was faking it to make it. I did not have the true background in terms of the speaking etiquette-ness. I just spoke from my heart. I taught the material from a place of reality and not just the textbook. I had to relate it to life. I had to add my own special flavor of who I am. And that was the time that I really felt the most alive, because I was doing something that seemed so natural, and it just seemed like it was meant to be. And prior to that, I was just like, Lord, this is ridiculous. I can't keep doing this, going to this 9 to 5 and just doing the same thing. And it was a chance. I took the chance, I took the risk, and I'm still a risk taker. I always have been. That's why I got a whole bunch of women. Go ahead.
Can I say this to you as well? God can use every gift that you have. And it may be the gift that you have at that moment. Like dancing is something that I've always loved about you. Of course, you danced at my wedding. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But that's the gift you have, and you can use that gift anywhere you want, in any way you want. So you can use that gift, whether it's spiritual or whether it's natural. So whatever your gift or your talent is, because it's not just gift, it's also talents that you already have that you can use in any situation.
Girl, this is why you the employment purpose lady. I just add some up in that piece. But Sandy, what was the thing? I mean, you talk about that shift. I wanted something different. I put myself out there. I didn't have the educational background. I was not degreed at the time. I did not have any experience in the area of speaking. I just knew that I actually saw Les Brown a few years prior. And I remember, and I didn't even want to go. One of my friends made me go see Les Brown because I missed her when we go see Farrakhan. And then I missed Maya Angelou, which I just really want to be trash out of myself still today for missing that. But what came out of the watching Les Brown at this event was the first time I thought, well, there's something else that I could do outside of acting. And I was like, I don't know what that is he's doing, but I can do that. And that was back in 1994, I think. I didn't start speaking and training to 2000. So for 5 years, I remember writing notes profusely. I still got the notes. I brought it back with me when I went home a few weeks ago, and I brought the notes, the original notes that I wrote down that Les Brown said, leap, and it will appear. You know what I mean? When you leap, it appears. It talks about that. And so with that, it kind of came full circle with me once again taking a leap. You know, this is a leap. This is something that I would hear on their speaker circuit we were on about you should get, you should be a talk show, or you're like an Oprah, or you like, and I wasn't trying to hear that. I really was not. It was irritating me actually, because I was like, I just found something I can do besides acting, and now y'all talking about talk shows. Yeah, look, one thing at a time, please. So here it is. I meet you ladies, and there's this instant connection, this instant sisterhood. And all of us have these incredible gifts about ourselves that we celebrate regarding each other. I just love hearing Cindy talk. I love her voice. I love your voice. I was listening to your voice today, Marja, when I was leaving a message on their voicemail. And I said, this girl really could do voiceovers. Could she not, Cindy? Could she do some more?
You should put your book in audio form.
Your voice.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, narrate it yourself. Absolutely.
It's awesome. It's another form of purpose.
Yes.
Ooh.
Another form of purpose.
Lord, I ain't gonna.
Also, hey, CaSaundra, when you met Les Brown, that was a new form of purpose for you. And isn't that the title of your, isn't that the title of this program about?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Some about purpose. I don't know.
Yeah, purpose.
I'm wrong, but I heard something about purpose. Go ahead, please.
That's what that is. Purpose on Platforms is a new program that I'm creating. And in addition to that, I am also launching, praise God, this year is Purpose for More 2020, which is a live virtual event around purpose-driven people like yourselves, who will be my keynotes on that piece.
Pleasure.
And then I'm going to go ahead and launch the book. I'm not sure of the title. Hello, Joseph B. Washington. Speaking out of Atlanta. That's good. Another former. I know, Joseph. When she said that, I was like, Jesus, I can't write it down, but my God, I hope I recall it. So you're right, another form of purpose. And the other form of purpose is, I think the book is going to be somewhere along the lines of purpose identity.
I like that.
We will see what journeys out of that one. But yes. Thank you for watching, Joseph B. Washington, who's another incredible speaker. He will be on the platform for Purpose for More 2020, along with these incredible ladies. Thank you. She got that work. You got that right. I'll take that. High five, virtual high five. Joseph B. Washington. I just like saying that name. So, like I like saying doctors. I like Cindy Milligan. There's something about that Milligan. Just that Milligan. And then Marja Lee. Marja Lee Freeman. I love it.
And Marja Lee together.
We gotta keep these together.
I always say it together.
Well, at one time before I got married, people didn't know that I had a last name. They just called me Marja Lee. And it flowed so beautifully. And when I got married, add to Freeman, Marja Lee Freeman. So I've always been Marja Lee, where people have always said it as one name. So Marja Lee Freeman.
Yes, I like that.
I love it. That's like I've always been Marja Lee.
I want to say something to this point. Joseph has here, let average go. And that's one of his main things is about let average go.
I like that.
When it comes to life shifts require you to let your average go.
That's right.
It really does. It will shift you. I mean, just talking about, my God, what Cindy said, what she has done in 2 months. And not that, like you said, the 17 years you didn't get nothing done. You was getting something, but something about when you made that shift and you let your average go and you just rose above, then you just started creating. This girl helped me last night, doggone it. I don't know what time in the morning it was, but she helped me to get something done that I was like pondering around and knick-knacking with. And she was like, oh, let me get this done. I was like, okay. let me go get my pad of paper. And she shifted me in that moment. And I woke up this morning.
It's like I told you last night. Ever since I've met you, I've heard you talk about purpose. Ever since I met you. Yeah, Marjorie, right?
From the beginning.
From the beginning. So look, let's just nail this down and take away all of the average stuff that was going to be there and strip it down to what you really want to do. And just let's do it. And, it's like this, talking about the shift, I think the big shift has not been anything that we had anything to do with. This pandemic shifted everything for everyone.
Yeah.
And this is what I was trying to allude to earlier, is that you just have to go with it. You have to adapt. Now, the thing that I had made a decision at the beginning of this was, I am not going to sit around and waste my time, watching television or complaining about the fact that, we're supposed to stay in. By the time we get on the other side of this, I am going to have accomplished something.
That's right.
So the shift really helped me, but I didn't have anything to do with that particular shift. But within myself, I made the decision and I said, I am going to make sure that I make the best of this situation. And that's really what I was saying to you too, about you made the move, instead of looking back or trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future, be where you are, accept. You use the word embrace. I like that. Embrace where you are.
I like that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you have to adapt to it, because the more you struggle, the more you fight, the more you resist, it's just going to be harder for you.
And longer.
Energy.
You say it again, it's Mufasa.
Don't waste your energy. You need your energy. Don't waste your time.
Right. Energy.
You got 24 hours. And it's amazing what people can get done in 24 hours. And one of the things I just started to do is I cleaned off my desk. I got rid of all that extra, pens and bobby pins and stuff all over your desk. Half of it don't even work. I mean, I went through everything on my desk. All the extra pieces of paper where I had written on little stuff, I cleaned all that off. So I could now look at what I had, evaluate it. Do I need it? Do I use it? Then toss it. For everything that I had, do you need it? Can you use it? Then toss it. And so that became my system, so that when I actually looked up at my desk, I had a clean desk to start with.
Oh boy.
I didn't mean to put your business out there, but my point is to get rid of all the stuff that it's a burden on you.
Yeah.
It becomes a burden because now it's all over the place. You don't even need it.
And you can't
Do you need it? Can I use it? Then toss it.
See, that was the other part of this pandemic.
Okay, go ahead.
is that it gave me the space to think about what I needed to do. Because before this, you guys, we were all doing too much stuff.
Tell me about
running
it.
Here, running there, thinking about this. I mean, I would take trips, to the mall just because I wanted to get out of the house. I didn't need anything. Run to the grocery store. Don't need anything. Oh, let me just pick up this, pick up that. Or let me just go for a drive. Or too much. And I know I wasn't doing half of what a lot of people were doing.
That's true. That's true.
We're all doing too much. Just need to strip it all the way down.
Dip it down.
Clean off the bobby pins.
Get somewhere and be still.
That's right. Sit yourself down somewhere.
Sit down somewhere and get you a pen and some paper and some accountability. That is the key there. I had to become accountable
for
people that would hold up the guard for CaSaundra in terms of like Cindy last night. You, Marge, today. Accountability. We have been accountability, purpose, collaboration partners for so long. We're advocates of each other.
Yeah.
We've always been. We always have been that way. And so last night, Cindy come in and demonstrated that muscle. And I was like, yes, ma'am, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I just really wanted her to get settled in it.
No,
you know, she was always talking about all the things that she wanted to do, but I only really heard one thing, right? But the one thing will allow you to do all the other things you want to do, right? A friend of mine calls those accountability buddies. I like that term.
Accountability. Okay.
No, accountability buddies.
Okay.
Accountability. Yeah.
It's a new word. It's a new word. Never heard before. Okay.
So we just hold each other accountable. So Marja Lee, you are not going to get away with not doing that audiobook. Turn your book into an audiobook. It just expands the audience because so many people will have time to listen to it more so than they will have time to sit down and read it.
There it is. Fantastic.
Okay.
Let me write that down. Let me get that.
No, you don't need to. I'm going to remind you. Don't worry about it. I got that.
Oh, no. All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to do without it.
Okay.
Yes, CaSaundra.
And then I'm going to hold you accountable, CaSaundra, for your book.
There you go. And then you'll do that also in audio form.
There you go. I'll be knocking at your door, CaSaundra. How you doing on that book?
Marja Lee, she's got her hand up. What's up, CaSaundra?
Look, I was hoping. Look, I think I forgot the thought. Hold on. So, hold on a moment. Marja, not only that, I'm going to go on and put it on out there. You need to get the podcast and cast that pod. Yeah, you do. You need to go ahead and do a podcast.
Working me to death.
To life. We working you to life.
Come on now. That's all right. Come on. Hallelujah. Okay, go ahead.
There is something, I'm going to say something to you. There is healing in your voice.
Thank you.
There is healing. Girl, sometimes I would just call her little voicemail so I could just get inspired to see what she's going to say on that therapy. Voicemail. And I used to do that for real. And like today, when I called you and I left a message, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I need.
I do a quote for the day or quote for the week. So that when people call it, there's something that connects. I've had people who told me that they called back at least 3 times so that they can write the quote down.
And you were wondering why people are calling, hanging up on your phone.
You hanging up again?
Calling me.
That's what it is. I mean, I had no idea that there's so much power. That power in that quote. Come on, somebody. There's power even in that quote.
Marja, the power is in your voice.
That's what it is. Can you say it again, Dr. Milligan?
The power is in your voice. That's the name of my new YouTube channel, Power in Your Voice.
Wait a minute. That's the new one now.
What?
All right.
Yeah. So it was the power in your voice. You brought that quote to life because the quote was there, right?
Right.
But they didn't call your number to read the quote or see the quote.
Come on.
They called to hear the quote.
Yes.
Yeah.
The power in your voice. That is an excellent.
All right, ladies.
Y'all have been, oh my gosh. Listen, y'all. Listen to me carefully. Listen up, y'all.
I'm listening.
I'm talking about the audience.
Never mind.
She wasn't talking to us, Mark.
Right now I'm feeling silly. All right.
She was not talking to us. Oh, wow.
All right.
Let me look into the camera. Please stand by. Will I make this enough?
Please stand by.
Anyway, Marja. Okay.
I love it. Cindy, can you say it, please, Cindy? Cindy, say it for me. What's up? Say it again.
Please stand by.
I love that.
Please stand by. We're listening to you, CaSaundra. What is it that you want us to hear? I mean, Marja and I. Anyway.
Listen, y'all. First of all, I want you to share this here broadcast, and I want you to comment. You got any questions? You guys got the experts right here that you can be able to get in contact with them. Cindy and Marja Lee, would you tell the people them how they can connect with you and share with them anything you guys got going on? Apparently, we're going to all be busy over these next few months because we are working with and through our purpose. So share with them how they can get a hold of you for speaking engagements, for booking, for being on shows, podcasts, live shows, you name it.
Okay, I'll go first.
Carry on.
If you type up the employment lady, you'll find me.
The employment lady. Is that
if you would, you can also, if you determine you would like a copy of my book, you can also do that as well. Career Building, How to Stand Out, Get Ahead, and Get Noticed. And my email address is marjalfree@aol.com. Yes, I still use AOL. Yes, because I know this. My emails are going to get through. My other Gmail, I don't get half of that. But anyway, say what you want. I get my messages.
yeah. And
yes.
Oh my God.
Girl, she didn't told us. I love it. Love it. But you know what? I like that you got mail. I heard it the other day and it was music to my ears.
That memories, didn't it?
Memories. Oh boy.
You got mail. Okay. And then
I just have to shake my head sometimes. That's all I can say.
You know she does. And Dr.
All right, go ahead, Dr. Milligan. Go ahead.
Well, you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and now my new YouTube channel. But Instagram at Milligan Vocal Arts. You can find me on Facebook, Cindy Milligan, or Milligan Vocal Arts Institute. And then my new YouTube channel is Power in Your Voice.
Mm-hmm.
Power in Your Voice. And hey, y'all, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Please.
And as Marja goes forward with her podcast called the Marja Lee Freeman, The Employment Lady Show.
Employment Lady Show.
The Employment Lady Show. Amen. You be able to catch her there. So listen, y'all, we are coming. We got some laughs here. AOL.com funny. Thank you, Paula, for showing up. She was there the other night, and we just crushed it and killed it. And then I love what Pastor Rose says here. She's got you, CaSaundra. Write that book. Yes, ma'am, ma'am, and ma'am. I shall. And I will. Indeed. Y'all know I love you. This will not be the last time that we connect doing a platform like this. We got some things in the work, y'all, so stay forward to that. And Marja, I'll catch you guys tomorrow on the CaSaundra Jollif Show. As always, have significant success on purpose, your purpose. We'll see you guys then.